You are fantastic.
All right, good evening. This is the January 19th, 2022 Cottage Grove City Council meeting, which I'm calling to order. The first order of business is the Pledge of Allegiance, so if you'd please rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, will the clerk please do the roll?
Councilmember Kambata.
Here.
Councilmember Dennis.
Here.
Councilmember Thiede.
Here.
Councilmember Olson.
Here.
Mayor Bailey.
Here. Next item on our agenda this evening is open forum. This is the opportunity for anybody that wants to speak on something that's not on tonight's agenda is welcome to do so. We do have a did have a sign-up sheet out in the entryway. We did have one gentleman that did sign up. William Dobler is going to come up. And I believe it's 2729 Ibis Cove Court, Bonita Springs, Florida, right? And I'll just mention, just for the public too, after he's finished, then if there's anybody else that maybe missed it, we can obviously acknowledge you, but we do limit it to 3 minutes. So if you want to come on up, Doc, and yeah, right up to the podium there.
Well, thank you very much, all of you, for letting me speak. What I just learned in the last hour, I have to digest a little bit. I just and see how it fit in with my plans. But anyway, I guess I have a very limited time, so I want to say I have a project that I'd like to submit. Which the budget is actually $1.4 billion. And I think the intent was to finance it all privately. However, and it's basically a large hotel with amenities such as a water park, and plan was a swimming pool for this to help the city out with that problem, but that sounds like that might already be addressed. We also had plans to have a shooting range that would complement the Hero. The Hero, for instance, does not allow shotgun shooting, which is one of the main defense weapons, probably the best defense weapon there is. And we would have one that would allow shotgun shooting, such as the facility I am a member of in Naples. I also, and I wanted to support the public safety group that you have, and I know both the fire department and the police department are underneath that, and they both helped me immensely when I had the concert back in 2013, and got to know a lot of you councilmen, and got to know both of them pretty well also in the planning of that. So I would like to strongly support the all of those facilities in any way I can. The Parks Department, which I know is underfunded with your 37 parks compared to the funding for 20, and I think we can assist in that. That was part of the planning of the hotel. The hotel basically would be on the base. Is that my 3 minutes?
Yeah, that's the 3 minutes.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate my time.
We appreciate it. Thank you. All right. Nobody else did sign up under open forum. Was there anybody else that happens to be in the audience that wants to speak during open forum on something that's not on tonight's agenda? All right, seeing none, I'm going to go ahead and close the open forum. We'll move to number 5, which is adoption of the agenda.
Motion to adopt the agenda.
We have a motion by Councilmember Dennis, seconded by Councilmember Thiede. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Number 6 is presentations. We have none this evening. 7 is the consent agenda. Is there anything council would like to pull on consent? Yes, Councilmember Kambata.
I'd like to pull item C.
Item C? Okay. Anything else, council? All right, seeing nothing else being pulled for discussion, item C, Mr. Kambata, is accepting some fourth quarter donations.
Yes, just like to add that no donation, however big or small, is unwelcome. So anyone wanting to donate, please feel free.
Yeah, and I'll share just a piggyback on what our Councilmember Kambata mentioned. We actually had 3 different groups or companies that donated during the fourth quarter. One of them was Marathon Petroleum, and what they did is they donated to our fire department $4,400 for light boxes. 3M, I talked to 3M because for those that may not know, our Strawberry Festival float has been disassembled because of some safety concerns. So we provided them with a new trailer, so now they're going to build a new float. So 3M has been gracious enough to put $4,000 towards the rebuilding of that float. And then the Cottage Grove Athletic Association, in partnership with the city of Cottage Grove, is going to be providing $41,826 towards Hamlet Park football and soccer. And I believe that's for a scoreboard, is that correct, Zach? Robin's telling me yes back there, okay. So I believe it's for new scoreboards that are going to be going down there. That's been requested by them. So we appreciate all those donations, and then piggybacking on what Councilmember Kambata said, it doesn't matter how much it is. The fact of the matter is we appreciate anybody and everybody that donates and provides goods and services to the city of Cottage Grove and its citizens. So nothing else was pulled on consent, so at this point, I'll look for a motion to approve consent.
I motion to approve.
All right, so we have a motion by Councilmember Kambata. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Thiede. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. So if you happen to be here for anything on tonight's consent calendar, all of those items have been approved. A8 is approved disbursement. 8A is to pay the bills.
Motion to pay the bills.
We have a motion by Councilmember Dennis.
I'll second.
Second by Councilmember Kambata. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. 9 is public hearings. There are none this evening. 10 is bid awards. There are none this evening. 11 is regular agenda. Nothing this evening. Now we're all the way down to council comments requests, and I'll start with Councilmember Kambata.
Yeah, I had heard through I had a constituent reach out to me regarding the hockey arena and the enforcement of mask wearing. And as somebody who plays hockey on an adult league, I know that every community does it a little differently. And I just was curious if we are at or above what the CDC guidelines are and what other what's Woodbury doing at their sports complex in terms of enforcing it. I know they had some concerns about their kid and health and safety and so on. So I'm just curious if staff.
Do you want to speak to
has
it, Zach?
been-
I mean, I know some of the answer because we were discussing it just earlier this week. So Zach, do you want to share with the public?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor, members of the council. So we did do, we're at the CDC guidelines right now. And right now, staff are required to wear masks at all times. There's signage around the facility highly recommending face coverings for all patrons. Minnesota Hockey is not enforcing a requirement for masks for players at this time. That's the Youth Hockey Governing Association, nor is the Minnesota State High School Sports League. So we're not requiring that. And I did survey about 13 of the nearest south and east metro communities, and we are almost all in compliance. Some are not quite as strict as us by not requiring their employees, but pretty much every arena is at least requiring, or at least recommending mask wearing. And then some facilities are requiring their employees to wear them and some are not. We are requiring our employees to wear face masks.
Thank you.
You got it. Any other questions, comments? All right, Councilmember Dennis.
All right, thank you, Mayor. Just want to mention for the community that we have a really neat process that is currently going on and has been in the works for the past couple years. It's the Cottage Grove Convention and Visitors Bureau. And one of the things, we had a meeting just yesterday morning. Councilmember Olson's also a member of that group with myself and some of our fine staff. We are working on putting together an official visitor's guide, which I have a mock-up version of this right here, that will be used primarily to help promote our area, to help bring interest, awareness, and opportunity for folks to come here and partake of all the great amenities that we have in our city. This is funded through money that comes from user fees from our various hotels. And then we've got a volunteer group. In fact, we're looking for 2 people that might wish to join that organization. Specifically, if you've got a background in business or something related to the type of work that we're doing here with this, would be very, very helpful. And I serve as chair on that commission. So if anyone is available or interested, please reach out. You can contact me directly. My information is on the city's website, or Councilmember Olson, or you can go to the website and get some information there. But really, a lot of great work is being done, and it's really amazing when you look at the width and the breadth of opportunity that we have here. Businesses, our parks, our trails, amenities that are here. This picture on the front was taken down on the river last summer. And one of the fellows from Seavers Creative, who's working with us on that project, was down there involved with our paddle boat amenity that we have. So it's really a neat thing, and I just want to draw a little bit of attention to it and let people know that there's a lot of folks working hard here to help make the community be the best that it can. So thank you, Mayor.
All right, sounds great. Yeah, Councilmember Thiede.
Okay, and like a couple things. Again, Strawberry Fest. We're just getting going here to get the planning on the road for 2022, and we certainly could use more volunteers on the committee and so forth. So just contact me and we'll get you set up. But and just to again thank 3M for the money donated for the Strawberry Fest float, as it the old trailer and everything was having some issues, and so this will allow the ambassadors from the city, all the young ambassadors, both guys and girls, to go to different parades around the Twin Cities area and in Wisconsin and so forth, and represent the city of Cottage Grove. I'd also like to mention that out at River Oaks, this Friday, there's another pop-up restaurant where they've got certain different menu items, and you need to get reservations and so forth. And also just to comment that besides this Friday, February 4th, February 11th and 12th, and February 18th are all pop-up restaurants. And then there's a lot of people that really enjoyed the dueling pianos that we've had out there before. And that is an event on Saturday, February 19th. So go out, you can look at the website, see what's going on out there. And just because it's winter doesn't mean that there's not things going on, and it's a great place to shush, cross-country ski and so forth, which I like doing quite a bit. And it's a real nice little course. It doesn't have too many terrible hills or anything, so you won't kill yourself and so forth. But I think that's all I got.
Okay, sounds good. Councilmember Olson.
Thank you, Mayor. In 2021, the City Council for the City of Cottage Grove asked our staff to put together a comprehensive survey for residents of our community to answer questions around their impressions of how we do business in several different areas. And it was a very substantial project. It was something that the staff put an awful lot of time in, and there, by way of time, additionally, an awful lot of money to ensure that the survey was as comprehensive as possible. Went through several different iterations to the point where we proofread and proofread again and proofread a third time. And then the survey was sent out to the residents in the latter half of the year with a goal of trying to get all of the survey results back in sometime in early December. We did get the results. The response rate was similar to what we've seen in the past when we've done these surveys. We did send out over 13,600 surveys to people's homes with a return envelope for them to be able to answer the survey and send it back into the city at their leisure, in addition to enabling people to take the survey online and provide online feedback. And Jennifer's going to have to correct me here if I say this wrong because I'm going by memory, but we got somewhere in the neighborhood of 2,600 to 2,900 responses, ballpark. Okay, perfect, thank you. Oh, Dave's got it right here for me. 2,603 responses with 1,261 comments as part of those responses. And those comments were sorted by the staff into the various areas that they were focused in. Now, I can't speak for everybody at the dais, but I do know I've spoken to several of my colleagues. We've spent an awful lot of time digging through that data. The good news is 90% of the respondents to the survey thought that the city of Cottage Grove was a pretty doggone good place to live. And that was nice to see. But when you get into the nuts and bolts and you start to peel the proverbial onion, you start to see some themes. So one thing I want to share with the public is we appreciate your feedback. Even those of you who gave feedback that could be perceived as, negative or counter to some of the way that we do things, that's the point of the survey. That's why we want feedback, is so that we can do a better job. And we take that feedback seriously. We take it under advisement. One of the challenges with that feedback is you'll get feedback that competes with other feedback. So to give you a real life example, we will see things on these surveys, and anytime we've done a survey in my time on the council, I think the mayor would agree, we see very similar themes. We want more restaurants, we want more shopping, we want more X, Y, or Z. And then there are other comments that say we want no growth, stop growing, we're getting too big, we don't want to be a big city. So you have to really dig into each specific survey, each specific comment, and try very hard then to ascertain what the real message is. I expect that the staff will collate all the information and share that with the public at a high level view moving into the future. But what I want the public at home to know is each year when we do our strategic planning session, which we always do in January with the staff and the council, we try very hard to identify sort of the top 5 or more focus items that we want to really sink our teeth into for that year. And of course, as I said earlier, last year at that session, we asked for this survey. So now that we have this data, when we do our strategic planning session this year, the council will take a lot of this data under advisement, and we will start the dialogue around some of the main themes that were surfaced by the residents. So again, thank you to those who responded. Thank you to those who commented. Thank you to those who took the time to let us know what you think. We saw responses from people who've lived in the community for less than a year, and we saw responses from people who've lived in the community their whole lives. So it's kind of nice to be able to get that mix of feedback. And please understand that your city council takes this very seriously. We wouldn't ask for it if we didn't want it. So even though, there might be some things in there that we look at and we say, well, geez, wow, we hadn't really thought of it that way. It's helpful to have that insight, and we will be formulating some game plans based on your insight as we work through the strategic planning session and the remainder of the year.
Is that it? All right. A couple items for the public. Actually, I have a few this evening. We'll make it fairly quick. First of all, I wanted to, the public, some of the people in the audience already know this, but earlier this evening, we had a joint meeting with our legislative contingency here that represent the city of Cottage Grove. I want to thank Senator Bingham and Representatives Jurgens and Frankie for stopping in and reviewing our goals and objectives that we would like them to represent for the city of Cottage Grove and its citizens up at the Capitol. We prioritized a bunch of items. I'm holding up the booklet. I know Councilmember Dennis was doing the Cottage Grove Visitors Bureau, but on this particular case too, we have a lot of detail in here that we provided and went over some of those pieces with them this evening to support some projects and policy changes, things like that up at the Capitol that'll benefit our community as a whole. The other item I wanted to mention real quick is, it actually did this already, and I'm sure with some of the council members here, we all know that COVID, as you can tell, everybody's wearing masks up here except for me talking right now and in the audience. It was brought up earlier by Councilmember Kambata regarding the ice arena. It's been a challenge out there right now with COVID spreading pretty rapid. I wanted to remind people on a couple things. One is we do have a testing site that is open in Cottage Grove at the Cottage Grove Armory, and it's Thursday through Saturday. 9 to 4, I believe. I'm doing that a little bit off of memory. But you can go online and check it out. I know we have some information also on our city's website and Facebook page. So I wanted to mention that and that is obviously for COVID testing. There are a couple places within the community, obviously, that you can go and get your COVID or your vaccines or your boosters. So some of those places you can just go into. Just share with them your information and they'll do it right there. Some of them require an appointment, some of them do not. And then the other one, and this is the one I was getting to, I just did it myself yesterday, is the federal government just opened up an opportunity for you to get 4 at-home tests delivered to your home. And I have to tell you, it's very simple. It launched softly yesterday, but I actually went out and did it. It's covidtest.gov, and all you do is put your information in there, your name and address, and just some general stuff. And they immediately goes right to the United States Postal Service, and within 7 to 12 days, you will receive 4 kits, at-home testing kits, should you want that. Because I do know, from what I'm hearing from many, many people, is it is getting very, very hard right now to get tests, especially those that think that they might be sick, which obviously can cause some issues with being able to go to work and such, or daycare or school or whatever. So I just want to mention that again. It's covidtest.gov. It's very simple if you're interested to get those. And then lastly, for my notes, and this just came in my mail today, so the January Cottage Grove City reports, and I wanted to let the public know that prior to the February 2nd meeting, which will be our next meeting, you can either come here, you can watch it live, whether it's on Channel 16, but I will be doing the State of the City address from here in the council chambers. It'll be February 2nd at 6 p.m. Interesting enough, Councilmember Olson was mentioning about some of the data, if you will, from the citizen survey, and I'll be actually using some of that in some of my comments on the State of the City, and also talking about comparisons between the survey in 2006, 2012, and obviously 2021, and what were some of maybe the common themes, and some of the things, like you said, that might be a little contradictory, but try to read into the notes and get more information. But I was, to your point too, I was very happy with the overall results of the survey. Citizens seems to be happy with how things are going in Cottage Grove. So that was it for me for those comments. I will mention that we do have a workshop session that is open to the public this evening. Our workshop this evening is actually meeting an economic development director candidate, Gretchen Larson, who is actually in the audience here. I got to meet her a little bit earlier, and we'll be, as a council, be doing an interview. 14 is a workshop session closed to the public. We do not have one this evening. So we won't be necessarily adjourning in here because we're going to be going in to do an interview. So everybody have a great evening, and we'll see you next month.